Hi guys, I'm Kristen Nettopak.
And I'm David Griffin.
And this is our review of episode 5 of the Vampire Diaries, Reckoning.
All drama.
This is such a good episode.
Tense.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, that's what you think about it, but like, what was your favorite part?
Oh, my favorite.
There's so many, right?
Well, probably with Tyler.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I mean, I didn't really see that coming. He just shoving his wrist in there and then snapping his neck. I was like, oh no. And then, of course, it was like cut to commercial type deals. I mean, that was great. I didn't see that coming at all.
God, I thought all of it was great, but I have to say overall, I'm going to give props to Klaus because he is so good every single episode. And then this episode, obviously, he's the one causing all of this ruckus, but it's just like he has this charming way about him and this way of talking, and he's just so evil, but I love him so much.
He's so calm about it,
he's
too.
He's so calm, but he's funny.
Like Stefan has that, the thing in his stomach there. He just comes, he's like, oh, he can't, just pulls it out real, nonchalant. He's so cool all the time. He's my favorite character.
Yeah, but so much happens. So let's, I mean, where do we start? Let's start with Tyler and Caroline. I mean, did not see that coming either, and now Tyler's a hybrid. He's the first actual hybrid that they made.
Just can't have a normal night in Mystic Falls. Just trying to have a nice senior prank night. Everything just goes wrong.
Of course, it's like, we need a dark dungeon-y looking place. Let's use the high school. That's the only time they're at the high school is when something bad happens.
I love their relationship. It's so great. And I just could see the, the pain, in Caroline. She goes through so much drama all the time. I just feel for her. But, I mean, jumping ahead a little bit at the end, seeing Tyler, with this look in his eyes after everything works out, and he's this hybrid. I mean, he almost seemed a little bit too happy.
Yeah,
he's like everything's going to be great with this intense look. And I was like, oh, I don't think so.
And I'm thinking that obviously, I mean, this is what I'm afraid of is that they're happy.
Right.
When a couple's happy on the Vampire Diaries, what happens? Someone's gonna, someone's gonna die. So I'm just thinking that throughout this season, we're gonna see Tyler. We're gonna see what the hybrid is doing to him, being a hybrid, and then something's gonna happen.
Right.
I mean, I think that he's kind of in danger at this point because, he just doesn't seem like himself at all.
And this really hasn't been tested either, this whole blood transfusion thing. I mean, he assumes that, the first witch was playing a trick on Klaus, so he's going to do the exact opposite of what she told him to do. But we don't know. I mean, will this blood last? Is he going to have a reaction? And we don't know what's going to happen. It's untested.
Don't kill Forwood, guys.
No, Forwood,
Favorite team ever. But, so one of the other things was Stefan this episode. We have been talking about this for the last few reviews that, for me in particular, Stefan's character, he was going back and forth. Elena's a little whiny this episode, which we'll talk about in a sec. But they've never really pushed him that far. And, this episode I was thinking, oh my God, is he going to save her? And I thought that was going to happen. But I am loving, the ending was so brilliant for me.
I was so happy.
He snapped.
He's great. He just comes in, he's like, oh, don't let me stop you. Just comes and pours himself a drink. I love this version of Stefan. Because, I mean, that whole scene.
He doesn't care at all. I mean, he's turned it off.
I mean, you and I were kind of yelling at, getting at the screen a little bit. Because with Elena in the gym, and once Stefan goes and kills the one innocent girl in the gym, she's like, oh, that's not you, and all this stuff. I'm like, she just won't.
You were like, if I hear her say this, I'm gonna cry.
It's like, oh, I forgive you. It's no big deal. Just kill a lot of people. It's like, I just won't let it go.
But they've done it. I was waiting. I'm like, come on, this is the Vampire Diaries. They need to go there, and they went there.
And they did. I was happy. That was fun.
And I love the ending because we saw him shut it off, and then Elena was sad. But then to have him come in and just be like, yeah, whatever, I live here.
Right.
I was like,
that was
this is what we've been waiting for. And they kind of tricked us into that. I mean, we thought the whole time, they're only going to revert back. And everyone's been saying that. Give it a few episodes and Stefan's back to normal. And
it hasn't. I'm glad they're not going to just
just
going to let it drag out, which is great. I'm fine with that. That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, so now I love Bonnie was helping Matt, and now the whole Vicky thing.
What's going on over there? I don't know.
At first I was kind of like, they're a little friendly, but I know they're really good friends, obviously. But, it's funny because here's Bonnie at the very end telling Matt, you're the last normal person here.
That's not going to last on this. That's not
And then what happens? He sees dead people. So now we got 2 people that can see ghosts.
Right. I mean, I was kind of happy for him in a way. I kind of wanted him to stay normal But at the same time, I was happy they got to see his sister. I don't know if that's a good thing, because like, which ghost do we trust?
Exactly.
There's two different ghosts. Everybody's saying this person's not right, this person's not right. I mean, who do we trust?
Well, now, and so Jeremy and Matt both know that Jeremy can see ghosts, and now I don't know if anybody knows that Matt can see ghosts. So maybe they'll play that up where, you know, Vicky tells Matt, "Don't tell anybody." I mean, but who knows? I thought when Vicky came back, when Matt died, you know, quote unquote died and was drowned, I thought the message that Vicky was going to give him was something like, "Don't trust Anna."
Yeah,
because I'm still waiting to find out, you know, what is it between these two and which one is good, and like, what's even going on. But it's kind of cool that they used Anna as a way to find out about Michael.
Yes, it's
that
Michael.
That was pretty cool.
Vampire killer who's also a vampire.
Yep.
Who we see in the creepy tomb in the cemetery, the eyes open at the end. So I'm curious to see what this guy looks. I mean, he was chained up. I'm assuming it was silver. I mean, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that.
And like, why would they bring him back? I mean, you know, the vampire's like chained up in a tomb. Like, do you really want to bring that back? I mean, obviously they want to take down Klaus. But he'll be on our side.
But what's it?
Maybe.
What's her name said that, like, you know, he will kill all of you.
Yeah, exactly.
So this dude's crazy.
Exactly. I'm really excited to see this guy. I mean, again, we don't read the books or anything, so I have no idea what he's going to be like. But I don't really want him to take Klaus down because I love Klaus.
Oh,
but
that was a great scene. We see Klaus and his sister talking in the hospital parking lot, and he looks so sad. Like he's like,
Stefan.
yeah, he's like, I just want to leave here and get out of here. But like, he misses his boy. That's his only friend. I mean, everybody needs a friend. Even Klaus needs a friend. He was sad. I felt bad for him.
That's why he's so good. He's evil one minute, he's laughing the next minute, and then he's like completely vulnerable.
Right.
And that's what we love about it. And speaking of his sister, Rebekah, she's kind of turned into a little sassy mama.
Almost a little too sassy. I like her sassy, but she's like kind of getting snotty too.
She's a little bitchy.
Yeah, it's like a little kid sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's like 1,000 years old,
but she's just. Oh, and then I love the fact. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, we love technology on the Vampire Diaries, but I love the fact that
how does she know how to zoom? She's double tapping and pinch to zoom like technology. I'm like, how do you know how to use a capacitive touch screen?
How do I use this thing? I know. I was like, how do you know how to use the phone? You're from the 1920s.
Yeah.
But you know, Klaus probably taught her. He was like, okay, here's some things that you need to learn. You know, when you're in this era, here's how to dress, and here's technology. But they must have used a phone so many times, so I love it. Every time we look at each other, we're like, product placement.
Yeah.
Well, now, you know, we've been wondering this season, what is going to be like the epic thing moving forward? And, you know, of course we thought, well, Klaus is going to find out that the doppelganger is alive and he's going to kill her. But now there's this whole twist where supposedly the doppelganger blood is what makes hybrids.
Right.
And this is going to be interesting because now we have Klaus making hybrids all over the place. We have these dead people. Like, I don't even, you know, I'm just wondering how everything is going to come together. And then we have Michael going on, and I don't know. I mean, what do you think? It's hard to judge, but what do we think the arc of season 3 is going to be?
I mean, it seems like Klaus is going away for a while. I'm assuming he's going to try to straighten things out, see if Michael is in fact alive or awakened. You know, and so I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I assume we want to build an army so he can battle Michael, you know, because it seems like that's his only adversary that can really stop him right now. And what always cracks me up is, again, they just always stay in Mystic Falls. Like, why don't you just leave? Like, go back to Europe. I mean, it's a big planet.
Even Klaus was like, I want to get out of this one ponytail.
Yeah, it's like, just leave. I just don't get that.
Well,
but of course, it wouldn't be a TV show. They got to stay in the area. It wouldn't be a TV show.
Exactly. I don't know what this twist is going to be, but I'm excited. Well, now, last but not least, of course, everybody's like, Delena happened in the end. You know, I love it because they always kind of like throw it there in the end.
Right.
But you know, like we said, Stefan came back, and you know, he's a little crazy, which I'm loving.
Yes.
Again. But you know, now we've got Damon, and Damon is basically like, Elena, I'm never gonna leave you, and he gives her a little snuggle. And so I think finally, for you guys that have been waiting, or those of us that have been waiting, we're gonna see something transpire there. But it's gonna be really bizarre.
It's almost like flipped.
It is flipped.
I mean, because Stefan walks in on Damon and Elena, and they're having this lovey-dovey moment. He's just like, oh, this is pathetic, basically. I mean, it's just flipped.
It's almost like in season 1 where, you know, he walked in and he's like, you know, if I'll see something I never saw before, I'll throw $1 at it. And like he walks in the bedroom and you know, they're like, Damon, what are you doing? And you're right, it's totally flipped. But it's going to be interesting to see now that Stefan is completely gone, or at least they think that he's completely gone. It's going to be interesting to see that Damon and Elena relationship and how that's going to grow. And I mean, obviously, they're going to have to do something with it. Right. But, you know, if perchance she does end up falling for him, and Stefan comes back, I mean, you know,
they just
that's
can't make
gonna be
it
a little
easy.
rocky.
Yeah,
They can't make it easy. But at least they're moving forward with that finally, because we've just seen this so many times where it's like, because in the end, when Stefan came back, I was like, oh dear God, they're gonna give us a little and then not do it. But
I saw that smirk on his face, just like looking like this. I'm like, oh, this is great. Yeah.
I love it. Speaking of Damon, I love the kiss in the car. You know, he totally lets her make out, and you know, first I'm like, if they get in an accident, oh wait, they're vampires, they're not gonna die.
Right, yeah.
And then he's totally just like, I'm over you. And then after that, he's like, I would have never done that for you. And it's like, oh.
I'm glad that she's around.
Yeah.
Because I always say you get this really entertaining version of Elena, basically, and I love Katherine.
Absolutely, we love Kat, and now she's going to be the one that brings Michael back. So she's absolutely 100% in the mix with this, and it's kind of interesting though, because Kat is almost on their side now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all kind of trusting her. They know that she's pretty much harmless, because like, what is she going to do? Klaus is still after her a little bit. I mean, he doesn't really want her alive at this point. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, we're just happy to have Kat back. Well, that's what we think. We definitely want to know what you guys have to say about the latest episode of The Vampire Diaries. You can leave your comments below on our website, thinkhero.com.
Or come check us out at YouTube, at Think Hero TV.
And you guys can find us on Twitter, @ThinkHero, and you can find me on Twitter, @NetoPack.
And I'm @GriffinDE.
Bye.